Hi Aries, I hope you guys are doing great today. My name is Jackie. Welcome. So let's get right into the messages for this. Is going to be cover about a 2-week period from the 15th to the 30th. Usually I do each week. My schedule's a little busy right now, so I'm also working on other stuff. So I'm going to have these messages apply for the rest of the month. So let's get into things. We're going to, those of you who are new here, I pull typically each week for each of the astrological archetypes. I combine astrology and tarot. Okay, so let's get into things. Well, I'm going to first discuss the astrology. So if you're not interested in that, please check in the description box below. You could pop right ahead to the next section, which will be based on relationships. All right, but for now, we're going to get some general messages for all areas of life. I always recommend hanging out for this, but you know, we all like what we like. That's why I kind of give different sections the way I do. We have adjustments are required. Third quarter moon, prosperity lies ahead. Yes, good, beautiful. Be bold and make the first move. I like that energy a lot for you guys. So Pisces full moon on September 20th. And this is, why is this an important one, guys? This is falling just about an hour after Mercury trines Jupiter at less than 1 degree. That's really beautiful. Like from a spiritual perspective, this means a very optimistic, very generous, far more fortuitous vibe than we've been feeling, at least being available to us. This is a really good energy for like business, study, research, travel, plans in general, socializing in general, anything like that. And so where do you have this happening? You have the full moon between the moon and the sun. It's going to be sitting opposite from the 12th to the 6th house. So what does that mean? The 12th house, sometimes we call the house of self-undoing. It's a very spiritual energy, right? It's Neptune is the ruler there. It's Pisces home. And you do have Pisces sitting in that energy as well. So what is this going to mean for you? Well, first of all, for some of you, this can manifest as some sort of hidden illness because the 6th house has to do with our health, mental, physical, or emotional health. Some sort of hidden illness. So manifesting, kind of coming to the light. It can be realized, but in a very positive way, where now things can be addressed and looked at. Neptune also has to do with dreams, right? It can also be very much a sacrificial energy. So this can be where you're realizing either things that you've been working towards in your life haven't worked out because of sort of engaging with the wrong people, having to do with the wrong circumstances. But a lot of you are going to be experiencing this as realizing where you might be getting in your own way, particularly when it comes to your career. But I like this because whatever you're realizing here, because it's sextiling Pluto in your 10th house of career, which is a Saturn energy. It's all about work. It's all about your long-term goals. It's all about your self-esteem. Whatever it is that you're realizing here, you're going to be able to bring in a very fortuitous way out into the open to look at. And why do I feel like this is just a very, very positive energy for you as well? Because of what's going on, I feel like, with this Mercury retrograde, believe it or not. Right? It's Mercury retrograde is happening in your 7th house, and that's Libra's energy there, right? And you know, Venus rules actually your 7th house, so you have Libra sitting in your 7th. But there's something very special going on right now. There's a fixed sign called Spica. I don't know. I don't really bring up the fixed signs a lot on my channel because I don't like to complicate matters for those of you who don't know. But Spica is worth talking about because it's such a fortuitous energy. And this incites ingenious thinking, helps you to tap into your faith more easily, better able to just get along with people in positions of authority. This is a really good energy to bring gains in that area. And we're talking about 7th house. We're talking about all interpersonal relationships, not only marriage, but also contracts, also your public, right? So if you've been working on something creative, if you've been working on trying to get something out to the masses, the fact that Pluto is actually squaring this Mercury retrograde energy. It's like this tension to create change, but with Spica in there, it's going to be a very positive change. There's going to be a lot of positive energy in that sort of like triangular energy, and I like that a lot for you. I feel like whatever it is that you're working on, you're sort of realizing things in a different way, how you have to strategize differently in order to bring things to light. And I feel like it's the energy is nicely placed for you. The only thing I do want to mention here, the sun, first of all, the sun's going to be in Virgo until the 22nd, then the sun moves into Libra, right, into your 7th house. And then there's going to be a lot of focus on 7th house having to do with, again, any sort of contractual relationship, any kind of situation where you're dealing with contracts, anything like that. There's going to be a lot of focus there. And that's going to be, so there's going to be that focus there. But at the same time, we have another relationship house, which is the 8th house, right? We have Venus in there, Scorpio and Venus. It's going to be a lot of change. It's sitting opposite Uranus, which is retrograde right now in Taurus. And, you know, Venus rules your 2nd house, right? Venus rules this energy. And so there's going to be this shocking sort of, see, the thing is with Uranus, wherever Uranus is, there's a shakeup. And it's very unpredictable. It could be super positive or it could be very challenging. But I feel like whatever's going on in your relationship, there's changes, there are things being looked at, but it has to do with what you bring to the table, the money that you make. That can have to do with a business relationship, an intimate relationship, right? Anything like that, there's going to be some sort of tension here. Something very unpredictable is going to be happening with your money and having to do with your partner's money. So you can even be experiencing this as suddenly maybe your partner gets an inheritance, or your partner's family helps you guys out in some way, or helps you out in some way. I'm saying, you guys, if you're in some sort of business partnership or some sort of marital situation, you know, there could be some help in getting some sort of project that you want out to the masses, anything like that. But I do want to mention, though, that that we have Mercury retrograde. Mercury does also rule your 6th house, and the 6th house is the house we call the house of problems, right? And that's why Virgo is known as the problem solver energy. But the 6th house also has to do with legal like lawsuits, specifically like the idea of lawsuits. 7th house indicates like the strength of the people that we're sort of dealing with. So for those Aries who are dealing with any sort of legal situation, it does seem to me, first of all, I like the fact that we have the sun moving into that 7th house energy, because that will give you strength in dealing with any sort of situations that are going on with lawsuits. But you want to make sure that you take everything super, super slow. And if you could, to put things off as far as any sort of final decisions until after like the middle of October, like more towards like actually the end, because Mercury is going to be retrograde till the 3rd week of October. So you want it sort of like the end if you can. If you can avoid it, please make sure that you read everything super carefully. Now, that's not only for legal situations. 6th house also rules your day-to-day work environment, and it also rules your health, as I mentioned a few moments ago. So any sort of bottom line information that comes in that you need to sign off on or agree to, make sure that you're reading the fine print of absolutely everything, okay? Very important. And I do want to just throw out there, guys, I do want to say this is I think this is a very fortuitous energy. It really is generally all good, but you do want to be mindful that Mercury is going to be squaring Pluto, so you just want to have a little heads up of that. And Mercury, again, in that energy of that 7th house and then Pluto is sitting in that 10th house. So there's this necessary tension, but I feel like it's going to level you up. Just make sure you watch how you're speaking to people, because you don't want to end up saying something that ends up burning a bridge, because at the same time, positive communications can make all the difference here. But with the full moon is going to be aligning with another very powerful star titled Chiat, right? And that can bring a lot of danger from water. And I want to mention that just because of the crazy weather that we've been having, even here in New York, just the floods and the craziness has just been really unbelievable for several reasons. It's not only because of Chiat. Chiat's kind of like the cherry on top of it all. Actually, I'm going to say that Chiat is more of the instigator of it all. So this is something that can really sort of create a lot of general misfortune when it comes to such things, pipes bursting. It could, your workplace getting flooded out, people close to you that having some sort of water issues, or issues even with water within the body. So like, any sort of issue with vertigo, anything like that, and because that all has to do with water. So I did want to just mention that. So getting into the cards, we have adjustments are required, third quarter moon, and that's being clarified by rejection. The King of Earth, which is the King of Pentacles. Embrace your power. So, Aries, what I'm getting here is, going back to this full moon is likely to manifest, where you're going to need to make some adjustments in how you handle something in your life that's connected to your long-term goals. So whatever that means for you, if it has to do with a project, if it has to do with any sort of relationship having to do with home, because that 10th house opposes the 4th house, having to do with where you live, some sort of adjustments are needing to be looked at based in what hasn't been working out up to this point. Where have you felt rejected? Having to do with that relationship, that work situation, whatever it is, looking at that and making adjustments based on that in a really, really honest way. And we have the King of Earth. The King of Earth is a solid energy. It's approaching something from a solid perspective, but this is an energy, like, what do you need to look at here? This is an energy that has no patience for anyone who's looking to take what's his. So this could have to do with you dealing with somebody who can be considered like a greedy energy, or this can be somebody who's not, you might be dealing with somebody who's not willing to make necessary adjustments in order to work with you to be successful in something, in some sort of relationship. Or this can also mean you having to look at yourself and figure out where maybe you're a little too dug in how you approach something. Right? Maybe you're not willing, maybe you feel like if you handle your creative project in a certain way, you're selling out. Or if you handle that relationship in a certain way, you're martyring yourself. You're needing to sacrifice what it is that you want, need, and desire. And a lot of these issues are very likely to come up with the full moon hitting your 12th house, because that Neptune energy is a very sacrificial energy, and it's where we can feel like we're sacrificing ourselves. So really the call to the Spirit is calling for you to embrace your power and to understand that you bring so much more to the table than you actually even realize here. We have prosperity lies ahead, new moon in you, new moon in Taurus energy, right? I'm pulling these are my moonology cards. Clarifying prosperity lying ahead, discover your life purpose. I always get a very 5th house energy with this, which is all about creativity. What are you meant to do? But what are we meant to do? Go after what speaks to your soul. What speaks to your heart? Where do you feel like your energy lights up and shines? And that's exactly what Spirit is telling you to go towards. So we have the 7 of fire, and the 7 of fire is a Mars and Leo energy. So if you're feeling any sort of obstacles right now, Aries, you're going to be able to overcome whatever challenge is being thrown at your feet right now. Success is definitely at reach, and I do feel that a lot of you are going to be digging in, and not in a bad way, in a good way, into your morality and your personal philosophy. That's very important for you to balance out right now, though, whatever change needs to come in. You just want to make sure that you don't allow your ego to get too dug into anything here. And it's time for you to accept what's not working out. Accept what's dying. Guys, sometimes things just, it's gotta go. Sometimes there's this energy of this expiration date being reached. And quite frankly, with Mercury retrograde, with that Mars energy, nonetheless, in that Libra house, right? That 7th house for you, a lot of you are going to be really looking at how well is my relationship fitting in my life right now? How satisfied do I feel in this relationship? Do I feel like I'm in this connection with somebody who has my back? But a lot of you also, if that 7th house has to do with like maybe you're public, you're going to be realizing like maybe you're a YouTube creator, or maybe you're realizing like your public is just doesn't have your back right now, or you're looking to grow your channel, it's not happening, and you're like, what am I doing? I'm giving everything, I'm being authentic, it's not going the way that I want. Maybe just in that business situation having to do with that contract, right? And it's just really looking at all of that right now. Be bold and make the first move. Cardinal Moon, right? Don't be afraid to speak up about letting go, about needing to make some change, because there is some sort of change that needs to be made, and it's kind of like exactly what the doctor ordered here, though. Now, the Tower does indicate the ending of something. It's a necessary surrender. Now, for some of you, this can indicate a secret coming to light, which can be really shocking. For others of you, you sort of felt it coming. Tower is that Mars energy, right? And Mars is always about throwing up the red flags, very serious energy about getting us to see, are we on the right path? Because Mars always really is always very focused on us being in something that ultimately is right for us. And if we're not in the right space, Mars is going to come in and fight for us. And that's exactly what the Tower energy is. He'll come in and pull something down that he's afraid you're just not going to be able to end on your own. So that's the kind of energy that ends up inciting things maybe falling apart or ending. Now, a lot of times the Tower energy can come in. Some of you may be experiencing this because of the full moon in your 12th house, which rules your subconscious mind. So a lot of you may be realizing, wow, I really need to change the way I'm thinking. I need to change the way I handle things, the way I'm creative, the way I am in relationships, the way I'm handling my health. I need to make some profound changes here. So that's an example of how an internal Tower moment can be experienced, because if you keep doing what you did, you're going to keep getting what you got. And if you really want to go for your dreams, it does seem like some changes are going to need to be made, and you're going to have so much beautiful energy here to support exactly what it is that you want to happen. So on that note, let's move into the next section, which is going to be a Celtic cross spread for you guys for the general messages, and then we'll go into a separate reading for relationships. Okay, so let's pull a Celtic cross spread for our Aries friends, having to do with general messages. So yeah, I mean, you're just so ready to express yourself, but you're challenged by this need to negotiate two different paths. And for a lot of you, it's like, should I be in this relationship, that relationship, this position, that position? Should I change up how I'm handling this creative project? What is it that I should do? You know, I mean, the Princess of Wands, yeah. And this is really generally a beautiful energy, right? It really is. This is good news about a project that requires any kind of negotiation, right? Very busy time at work for a lot of you. Now, this can bring an offer. Page does incite a new cycle. So this can bring a new offer. And while the status or the description of it or the offer, whatever offer is being made, might not be exactly what you would like or expect, it still can appeal to you in theory when it comes to any kind of opportunity, including a relationship. If it has to do with any sort of contract, though, again, this is another energy that's indicating you need, make sure you read that fine print before signing or agreeing to anything. So it's kind of you right now. You're in this space, nice space, but what is the challenge to you being able to manifest this right now is this Two of Coins. It's challenging you, which is negotiating and needing to make a decision regarding more than one path, because you feel a sense of lack in something. So for some of you, it can be a lack in money. Maybe you're feeling a lack of connection to whatever it is, that relationship, that job, whatever it is, and you need to figure out what you're going to do. What are you going to do? And you're having a hard time making up your mind. You know, even though you guys are the Emperor, you guys are ruled by Mars, you're all about, come on, let's go. Feeling confident, fresh path, a new perspective. But the way the energy is hitting your chart right now for the archetype of Aries, you can feel a little like, I know I need to make change. It's almost like the mirror of where you need to make adjustments is so bright in a good way that you're looking at things and it can be creating confusion, because it's almost like light is being shown on things that you haven't seen up to this point. So coming into this energy, we have the Tower. So this is the second Tower we have. Now keep in mind, in numerology, this is the Chariot energy. And the Chariot is all about, first of all, it's a very swift and very determined energy to get away from something that feels like it's not working, anything that's toxic. The Chariot is Cancer, wanting to bring us towards our metaphorical home space, to a space of something that feels more right, where we feel like we have the right size shoes on our feet, right? Not our shoes like that are too small on the wrong feet, that kind of thing. So, and you really very much want to express yourself. But I feel there's this level of indecision. Now, the basis of the situation, we have the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is a very mutually supportive energy. If this has to do with a business situation, this is a really good conversation going on. Where if things have been challenging, having to do with work or a project, harmony can be found, nurtured, cultivated, anything like that, but it's through that communication, right? If this has to do with a relationship, this is if things have been really difficult, again, harmony returning. The energy is here to nurture something, to bring something into a better space. This is also for a lot of you, if you're unattached, a very positive proposal coming in relationship. If you are unemployed right now, very positive energy coming in for those of you. Beautiful. I love that it's working with the Knight of Cups here, because this is, again, another proposal energy, beautiful energy for emotional. This is speaking to your heart space, because when we're talking cups, we're talking emotions, right? So this can be, again, these two working together, recognizing maybe you're working on a new project that's going to go really well, some sort of creative project, some sort of new job offer coming in. This could be a new relationship coming in. This could be also a proposal within your current relationship that's going to level things up. A lot of you may be meeting new friends. New friends can enter your life right now. Absolutely, especially with the Jupiter right now sitting in your 11th house. Absolutely. And it's trining the sun for a lot of you guys, right? That the sun on the 22nd is going into that 7th house. So I like this a lot, because that energy can bring some sort of proposal having to do with either relationship, a contract, or even something having to do with your public reputation and getting something out there. Really nice energy, right? Okay, so now the suggested approach is to look at the Five of Cups energy. Five of Cups is focusing on paying attention to what hasn't worked, paying attention to something that hasn't worked that needs to end. And you feeling like you needing to end something before you feel fully ready for it. But the energy here is supporting that if something doesn't feel right for you, Aries, it's time to let it go and release it. Even if it's sad, even if you don't feel totally ready for it. Now, this could have to do with a relationship, a friendship, something having to do with work, or even some sort of financial situation where you're saying, okay, need to release it. Now, this next position indicates somebody that you're dealing with outside of you. So this could have to do with your significant other, a family member, a workmate, a boss, anybody, right, that's external to you. We have the moon. So the moon does tell me that you're dealing with somebody who, if this is in a relationship, is confused about what's going on between the two of you, or disappointed, or maybe they even feel kind of let down by you. And they're having a lack of trust that whatever relationship that they have with you is actually going to be able to work right now. Now, if this has to do more closely with a career or money situation, somebody may feel like something wasn't worth the effort that they were putting in with you. So this could just be this sort of you're dealing with somebody who's feeling a lot of emotions underneath the surface, but they're not being very overtly communicative, because the moon does hide what's underneath. Now, you also, at the same time, or on a different note, be dealing with somebody who is wondering if their connection to you is going to allow them to feel safe and secure within a business transaction, a business situation with you. You know, and it's this like, I'm not sure. But what I do like about this is whatever energy you're dealing with, they want to feel that level of security with you. So that is something that, you know, is worth noting. Now, as far as right now, your current overall challenge, we have the Seven of Cups. And this is a very psychological energy about choices and confusions. And you having some sort of commitment issue having to do with either anything, a relationship, so, you know, committing yourself to a particular way of doing something, having to do with work, a friendship, a family situation. And it has more to do with you really not being sure what it is that you're feeling. You're not sure what's real, what's not. Things feel up in the air and you're just not sure, but you do know you're walking through the door into that next phase of your life. That much you do know. You do know that you're starting like the beginning stages of something, maybe a new project, something like that, but you're really not sure where it's all going. And that could make you feel very confused and afraid of fully committing to something in any particular way. Now, I love that we have in the near future the world, because the world is about learning a final lesson and then manifesting it. This is the positive energy of Saturn. This is a Saturn energy in astrology, but this is about the gift that Saturn leaves to us once we've done all the work, right? In numerology, the world is the Empress energy, which is all about growth and expansion. It's about having a child. It's about opening a business. It's about buying that home, expanding. And the reason I say child is because the Empress is the mother of the tarot, right? You guys do have this, that Leo in the 5th house. You have the sun there. So I do feel like for a lot of you, this can at least bring up the conversation of children, right? In a positive way. And then we have, or at least maybe you realizing, for some of you, it's going to manifest that you're realizing you don't want children. Some of you are going to be realizing you absolutely want a child. So it depends on where you're at, right? And then we have finally the final outcome here. We have the Queen of Coins. So Queen of Coins is taking care of your body. For you, it's taking care of your body, your mind, your soul, your finances, taking care of all of that. In astrology, this is a Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. So very focusing on responsibilities, focusing on being reliable, that this influence can indicate marriage for some of you, money coming to those of you who are coupled. And I won't be surprised if something like that does come out of nowhere again, because you have that Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which is, and Venus rules that house for you in that 2nd house, and it's opposing that Venus in Scorpio energy, which is that 8th house, which is for you is ruled by Pluto. So, and again, whenever Uranus is hanging out, there's some sort of unexpected something that could come in. So there could be a really nice energy for those of you who are dealing with anything on the financial front, for sure. This is also an energy of fertility, right? As I mentioned a few moments ago, having to do with kids. So yeah, it could be anything like that. But again, being that Sagittarius energy and Capricorn, that's that 9th house, 10th house energy, the Jupiter, Saturn. So the answer to whatever is happening, that Sagittarius South Node in that 9th house, you're going to have to release something that you believe to be true in order to allow the change for the long term. And again, that's sort of like, that's the thesis of all of this, I sort of feel like, for you. All right, my friends. So that's what we have for the general messages. Let's pull some cards for those of you in relationship. Okay. I'm going to pull past, present, future outcome with qualifiers for you. And I'm going to pull past, present, future, having to do with an energy that you're dealing with qualifiers. Okay, Aries, starting out for you, we have the Nine of Swords. You might be dealing with somebody who's dishonest, and you feel kind of trapped in it. Or you may be not really being very open about how you really feel about being in a relationship with a particular person. The Seven of Swords is a moon in Aquarius. So the moon is our emotions, and Aquarius is different, out of the box, right? So feeling differently than what you're showing within a situation. So that is a level, that is a type of dishonesty for some of you. For others of you, It could just simply be not biting your nose off to spite your face because you're not really sure how you actually feel about a person. On the other hand, this could indicate you dealing with somebody who's immoral and who runs away from the responsibility of the relationship, overstepping boundaries, being selfish. And again, this could be you, or it could be an energy that you're dealing with, but you're feeling like you're not sure if you belong in a situation anymore. This has to do with feeling restricted, feeling limited, feeling trapped, feeling this anxiety because things are always going to be like this. They're never going to change. And you're like, I don't know if I belong in this situation anymore, right? So this is the past, right? Present situation is you're trying to temper everything, right? So you're trying to temper things in a way where it's like, okay, we have to cooperate. Let's reconcile whatever our issues are so that we can arrive at a new level of trust. We can attain a patient level of cooperation after what's been pretty difficult, right? But you're barely holding on here, Aries. I can tell you that. You're very tired. 9 of Wands is a strong, it indicates a position of strength for you, but you're so tired of it. It's like you're exhausted. You're going to have the perseverance to see it through, and your feeling of defensiveness needs to be you're feeling defensive right now. Probably very justified. All right, but you want to make sure that you don't keep yourself in any sort of negative mindset here, right? And let's see what's going on in the past, what's going on with the person that you're dealing with. So we have this 4 of Pentacles being clarified by the Fool. So the 4 of Pentacles, you're dealing with somebody who's very focused on their security, very focused on protecting themselves. So you might be dealing with somebody who's really hyper-focused on like watching their finances, or they feel like you're hyper-focused on finances at the same time. But there's this energy of self-protection as well, right? Because you see how she's got her purse, she's watching her money, but she's also protecting her heart. Because Pentacles are not only money, it's mental, physical, and emotional connection. And it's almost feeling like, I have to watch out here. I have to watch my heart, right? But being very focused on security, emotional security within the relationship as well. But clarifying that is the Fool energy, and the Fool. So the Fool can indicate wanting to do things differently than before, right? Wanting to do different things, but it's almost like this sort of make or break energy, Aries, I'm getting here, that you were dealing with this person, where they're like, look, if this doesn't work out, I'm out of here. I want a divorce. I'm going to go into a new relationship. I'm going to just go be by myself somewhere. I want to be done with it. There could have been a lot of that because they could have felt like they weren't getting what they needed from the relationship, or they felt like you were being too tight with your money, or you were being too closed off, and it was making them feel uncomfortable in the relationship. Those are the different ways that it can manifest, because these are general messages. So where you're here wanting to temper things, trying to hold it together, they're very much trying to focus on their Jupiter and Pisces happiness, right? Manifesting what it is that they really, really want here. They want to feel more connected to their own heart. They want to be able to grow this. But the thing is, that's being clarified by the 5 of Pentacles. It's like they want something very badly here, but at the same time, there's this test. They feel like they're being tested. So they can feel right, either maybe they're testing the connection, they're testing again, because the 5 of Pentacles, very psychological card. It could be if they could feel like their resources are being tested, right? That could be an issue within the relationship, where they're fearing financial issues, right? That would directly impact the relationship. They're having a fear of money, fear of losing the security of their home, fear of money here. So they really want to try to work on being happy, because they might be afraid to end the relationship because of some sort of codependence having to do with money. That can be how it can manifest for some. For others, it can be that they're realizing that they're not feeling as connected within the relationship to you as they would like to. They really want to feel very connected, but yet they don't. And there's this, it does seem like they're trying to figure out with you, like, how can that problem be fixed, right? Now, in the near future, we have you, 4 of Swords energy, King of Cups. So I like this for you, because this is you taking a step back for perspective, right? Some of you may be doing that shadow work energy, great energy for therapy. And I say that especially because that full moon that's happening in Pisces in that 12th house, with that, with the sun opposing Neptune there. So there's going to be a lot of internal work going on your end for sure. But you're trying to figure out a better way of being able to move forward. You might not know exactly how to handle that though. That's the thing. But you do know that there's a need to settle a conflict within yourself as well as with your partner here. But you might feel kind of unclear how to handle it. And here they're at this Ten of Swords space, right? Where there's some sort of ending, right? Where there's the history of what's been going on here. And they're in the space where they need to have this final release of something that releases them from the frustration, from the stress, from whatever they felt like hasn't been working, because they feel like they need to transform themselves into a new mindset, a healthier energy, a lighter energy. But they're being clarified by the devil. So I don't know if they're, it's a general message, right? So I have to give the different interpretations. They may be dealing with some sort of imbalance that could manifest as anything from having an affair to being narcissistic to being, and anything that creates any sort of imbalance, okay? So this could be them wanting to walk away from the relationship because of that. Others, and please, this is way, way more positive, wanting to end any sort of imbalance that they have been bringing into the relationship, wanting to end any sort of affair that they were having, wanting to end once and for all that addiction that they've been struggling with, wanting to end and looking at where they've maybe been rather selfish. Okay, so it could be this desire to want to get in front of that, okay? But it does depend. I have to give both interpretations because this is a general message. Now, here you are as the Chariot being clarified by the Three of Wands. Honestly, this is you just wanting to like run into the sun. Wanting to run. I just want to run and go, right? The Chariot's very quick energy, quick, right? Numerology, this is the Tower. Right? This necessary surrender, the lights come on, swift progress, change. You're being very determined to get away from what hasn't been working. But it happens quickly because this is a very like expedited energy, very expedited. And you moving away from the negative towards the positive, That's being clarified by the Three of Wands, which is a sun in you, a sun in the Aries energy. This is one of the good fortune energies. Honestly, this is just a very important relationship energy, but you moving forward, you turning your back on the past, everything that's been true up to now, you moving forward to realize what it is that you really want in relationship, but in a way that's different than what you've been in right now. Anything that you've been in up to this point. Now, I'm going to pull a clarifier on that, but let's see what's going on with your partner here. We have the Empress energy. Okay, Aries, there might be a situation where you and your partner are deciding not to have kids or where infertility is an issue. Can certainly be. There might need to be... For those of you who are with a partner that's trying to get pregnant, feeling such a strong Leo energy here for some reason. Libra energy. The Empress reverse, I'm sorry for the delay, I'm just getting a lot of stuff all at once. The Empress reverse for your partner, this person who you're dealing with, this can indicate for them some sort of issue, obviously being able to either conceive, grow in the relationship, being able to give themselves 100% in the relationship. This could be a very disruptive kind of stress, okay? Very, very disruptive. And that's being clarified, though, by the Four of Wands, Venus and Aries, right? This is somebody new opening up their... So some of you are going to be with the Devil energy if you're dealing with somebody who's cheating. And this is a new partner who comes in where your partner can say, like, look, this isn't working out for me. I actually want to be with this other person. because they're opening up to me in a different way. They're, you know, they want to be with me, and it's sort of being seduced into something here. I do feel like some of you are going to be dealing with that with your partner. Others of you, there's going to be this recognition that, okay, look, let's just stop trying to make something happen within this relationship that isn't happening right now. And let's just be peaceful and happy with what we have, where we live, not having a child, whatever it is. Well, let's be happy with the kids that we do have. Let's be happy with whatever it is that's going on. And let's just let all of that go and just get on a new path, have a different perspective and move forward. And just accept what hasn't been working so that we can end up having a firm foundation together. So that we can be that, you know, that tight couple together and not focus on the negative. Release whatever hasn't been working and just accept that that's not supposed to be part of our path right now. And we can create other beautiful things in relationship. Okay, so these are the different ways the different things that I see happening for Aries, you and a partner within a relationship. Now, for those of you who are in separation, okay. This is for you. I don't read oracles in reverse, for those of you wondering there. Okay. Twin flame. Okay, so for them, I'm trying to move on, but thoughts of you still linger and I can't control them. Time has brought me clarity about us. I made the wrong choices. The energy connecting these is heart with a key. Welcoming love, meeting the one, opening your heart, getting together. Perfect. For them, our relationship was different and special. Other people didn't understand it. For you, I still see a smiling face in my mind's eye, connecting to the two of you with the idea of twin flames. Twin flames, complementing each other, balance, coupling. For them, being apart has been more difficult than I can accept. For you, I fantasize about getting a second chance with you, connecting the two of you, the sword and rose, clarity and truth, revelation. Lots of clarity, epiphanies happening here. For them, you were the love of my life. I didn't figure that out before. I now know that it's true. For you, being away from you hurts like hell. I didn't realize it would be this difficult. And connecting you is healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from the toxic relationship or addiction. Let's pull a clarifier on that one. Star, beautiful. Six of Swords. Ten of Swords. Sometimes we need the Ten of Swords in order to heal, especially when we're in separation. The Star means you guys are just very destined to be together. I mean, you just are. And this is a change for the better after a difficult time. But what's clarifying that is the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is very necessary, right? This is about detaching, allowing some space to do some internal work. And the Ten of Swords means the end of a really difficult time period. There's no going back to whatever was the situation, right? It's really time to transform into a healthier energy. When the Knight of Swords is expect the unexpected, my friends. So it does look like there wants to be this sort of moving forward towards healing, but not yet. It doesn't seem like just yet. It doesn't seem like just yet. You know, but keep in mind with that Mercury retrograde energy in your 7th house, wow, I mean, old relationships can come back around. Anyone that you would be, not only intimate, I mean, this could be old jobs coming back around, old friends, old business associates coming back around, right? To really figure out, you know, what went on in the past and to heal it, you know. So nice energy, actually, my friends. Really nice. I don't get a lot of anger here. I feel like the anger has sort of quelled a little bit, and there's sadness, but there's still need for breathing and room and introspection, does seem like. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.